some Nearpod here. And standing through the time. Later, the fever ends, and I find I feel it down. As I'm looking here, I've got 11 people in the session, and I've got about 6 people in my Nearpod. So if you haven't had a chance to join Nearpod, we have 2 ways that you can join. You can go to nearpod.com and type in this code FB8X5, or you can join just by clicking the link in the chat. I'll post it in here one more time. If you go to the chat, just click the link. It will take you directly to the Nearpod session that we're going to be going through today. You'll want to be in that because it's a very interactive session today. All right. Thank you for readying your technology with us today. Got a little Whitney playing in the background, getting us ready. Thank you for joining us. We've got a number of people still joining us. Forgive me for repeating myself. If you will please join the Nearpod session, the code is on your screen. If you will go to nearpod.com and join with the code that you see on your screen, you can type that in. You can also join with the link that you have here in the chat. You can click that link directly. It'll take you directly into the Nearpod session. All you've got to do is type your name there. So 2 different ways to join the Nearpod session today, and we'll get started in about 1 minute. Awesome. Our numbers are growing. I've got about 9 people in the Nearpod session. I've got about 17 people in our session and our meet today. So if you'll please join the Nearpod session, it is going to be interactive. You will want to be in that session with us today so that you can take part in all of the activities. All right. So in order to be on time today, I'm taking every bit of our time because we do not want to miss out on any piece of information today. I'm going to honor your time. I'm going to set my timer so that I do not go over because, oh my goodness, I have lots to share. And I promise you, you are going to be on the cutting edge of all things Nearpod. We have things that have just dropped this week, and you are some of the first people to hear about it. So if you'll please join the Nearpod session, the link is in the chat. It is also on your screen. You can join at nearpod.com. Nearpod always has 2 different ways that you can join, 2 simple ways that you can have your students join, but you can also use any of these ways that you see on the screen here to get your students into Nearpod through Google Classroom, Remind. This can also be sent out through Seesaw if you use Seesaw, through Canvas, so many different ways to get your students into Nearpod. Without further ado, my name is Jennifer Lambert. I am your Nearpod Customer Success Manager for Garland ISD. I am also a Garland native. I started my teaching in Garland at Watson Technology Center, taught there for 5 years. Now I live in Wiley. So super excited to be coming to you today and sharing with you. I see Kelly Taylor in the chat. I'm hoping that's Kelly Taylor that I was with at Watson. So longtime friends there. All right, let's go. Jumping right in, you'll see one of our very first new features. This is drag and drop. Super excited to share this with you because it really is a feature that is going to be great for all the way from pre-K through 12th grade, all the way up to higher ed. And yes, Nearpod does go all the way up to higher ed. You'll see I'm presenting, and what you see is the teacher view. I'm going to toggle over here on my screen to the student view so you can see on your screen what the student is seeing, and this is what you've joined as well. Instructions up here. These are just some things I started thinking, how's a teacher going to use this first thing? So think about what you would do in your classroom. This is about me. So you can pull things over. What do you think I like? What do you think I don't like? All you have to do is drag these over. So I'm not going to tell you yet about me. I want to see what you can do. So now on the teacher side, I see in real time what my students are doing. So I don't even have to leave my seat. I can be monitoring what my students are doing in real time. I can see what my students have done. I can see who started and who hasn't. I can also hide names. So now all my students' names are hidden by just a click of a button right down here at the bottom. All those students' names are hidden. So you can see who's in progress and who has submitted their responses to me. So I see a lot of people getting started. Awesome. Let's see if we can check your work. So my name is Jennifer Lambert. I am a huge fan of College Game Day. I am a boy mom. I'm going to say that I like it most of the time. I will tell you, sometimes it does have its challenges. I love going to the beach. Here we go. Oh, you know what? I love going to the beach, but I don't like beach sand. I am in search of the best taco. I love it. But you can keep your peas. I'm never going to steal those from you. I'm going to put those way over here at the top. I love collaborating with people. But if you saw that as group work, I did not like group work as a kid. So that might be something that you see that you put in there with your students to test them and see if they like group work. Now, running. I don't know where you put running, but I'm going to put it way down over here at the bottom, as far away from the like section as it could possibly be, because that's me. Reading, I love to read, so that's in there. Coconut, I'm going to put coconut over here. Oh, hang on, that's singing. Don't get to singing yet. Coconut, I'm going to put coconut over here. Not a big fan. Singing, I love to sing. Nobody wants to hear me do it. So I'm going to put it over here because that's kind of where it is. So that's all about me. So I hope that you can see how you can use this this drag and drop with your students. On the drag and drop, when I was designing it, we have a number of different backgrounds that you can put back here, and you can design that background however you want. So you can upload the pictures, you can upload the background that you want, and then your students just drag and drop. So if you had something that you wanted them to label, if you had something that you wanted them to categorize, all they have to do now is drag and drop. Now over here, I have my student names hidden. If I wanted to share out with the class, now look on your screen. I can share out this submission here. This person got it pretty right. I don't like to run. I don't like peas. Oh, I do like to read though. And I can go through and I can share out these results with the class, and we can discuss how they did. And you'll see this option, this share with the class, with a number of different features on Nearpod. So that share with the class is there, as well as this progress for our students. All right. Um, Okay, also on this screen right here, I can always have, because I noticed that I've had some students come in that weren't here at the beginning. If you haven't had an opportunity to join, right up here on the left-hand side, I can always pop out that code. So if you haven't had an opportunity to join, here's our join code right here. Join our Nearpod and join the fun. It's going to live right up there on the left-hand side. You can join at any time. The code is also in the chat. Down here at the bottom, I can see these little red guys. These are my students that are in my Nearpod lesson. That's a great way to monitor the students that are in and out of the lesson. You'll see up here, I'm logged in. My name might pop to the top if I'm red, if I've been inactive for a little bit. So I might pop to the top if I've been inactive. Notice it pops green when students are active. All right, here we go. We're going to keep having a great time. So this next activity is a poll, and it has a timer, 45-second timer. So ready those fingers. I want to know, what do you already know about Nearpod? So this is a little experience with a timer. Are you ready? You got 45 seconds to tell me what you know about Nearpod. As you're choosing your answer, you'll see my pie graph here is going to start populating. And then I can take a quick poll of my students. This is a great opportunity for you to stick this in at the beginning of a lesson. Think in terms of like a quick SEL check with your students. You can do a quick check-in. I had teachers last year doing would you rathers with their students, doing a quick attendance check, all types of things with their students by using these polls. Just silly things sometimes, but just to get a quick check. Now I can hover over these A, B, C, and D to see where my students chose, if I want to see exactly what options these were. I'm brand new to Nearpod. Let's see. That's where majority of our teachers are here today. I can share out results. Now on your screen, you see the results of our poll. So there should be no questions as to what we're going to do. Well, I'm glad that you guys are here today. You're brand new to Nearpod. Super excited to share with you all of the stuff that we have to offer. I'm just giving you a taste because this is 45 minutes of super exciting stuff. And I am only going to be able to scratch the surface and hopefully get you excited to go in and experience a whole lot more of what Nearpod has to offer. All right, so that's our poll. I'm going to bring that back to me now and keep moving forward. All right, so let's jump right in. This is a draw it. This has what you're going to be able to do by the end of this 45 minutes. You've already done a couple of things, but let's talk about this draw it activity. So draw it activity here, the teacher can pose a question to their students and upload anything in the background. So right now you have the ability to use a pencil or a marker. You have all different colors that you can use to draw in the background. You have a highlighter here that you can highlight information. You even have the ability to use a text box. So if you want to type in your submission, you can type in this text box. And then you even have, anytime you see this button that has the mountains, that is going to bring you into a Google safe search. So I can submit by using a picture. So I type in a picture, I can choose a smiley face, and I can put a picture in my draw it. I can even upload my own picture. So if you have students that have created something and you want them to upload their own file, they can upload something here and submit their work to you in a draw it. By browsing their files, uploading their own file, and submitting it here to you in this draw it activity. So there's that. This button is their eraser. And I get asked all the time what this lock does. If you noticed when I was drawing here, notice that menu bar went away. That annoys some students. So they want to just lock it into place. Now, when I go to draw, notice that menu bar didn't go away. That is just total personal preference, whether they want it there or not. That's what that lock button does. Nothing too crazy, but that's just there. So then when they get their answer, you just hit submit and it's there. Now, I'm going to take all of this fun stuff away because I want to show you something else that's really cool on this screen. Throughout this Nearpod presentation, you're going to see this icon up here at the top. It's a book and a speaker. This is called Microsoft Immersive Reader. If anybody in the presentation right now teaches students that might be English as not their first language, anybody in the room? Probably so. Anybody in the room teach students that might be struggling readers? Probably so. Anybody in the room teach students that might be dyslexic students? Probably so, right? So we're going to click on this icon. You'll see it throughout Nearpod. All of a sudden, it takes me into Microsoft Immersive Reader. Now it took everything on that slide and gave me the ability to have this read aloud. Prepare to have your mind blown just a bit. I'm going to click play.
Review the learning objectives and the key topics for today's session. Make a note of something that you are most interested in. Add a note of any additional.
Okay, that's pretty cool, right? Now we have checked the box for having that oral accommodation. Okay, prepare to be amazed just a bit more. I'm going to click on this reading preferences. It's going to bring up a translation dictionary with over 35 different languages here for me. So if you've ever received a newcomer in your classroom, now you have 35 different languages that you can type out a slide and then have it translated for you. So I'm going to choose Spanish Mexico right here. Now, when I choose that, I can just have it will translate a single word for me. Okay. It will also give me a picture dictionary, or I can click on that. Now, keep in mind, I'm in as the student. So the student is doing this. I can have the entire document translated for me, and now the student can have that read aloud.
Objetivos de aprendizaje y los temas clave.
That seems really fast, right? That's really fast for a second grader. Now watch.
Clave para la sesión de hoy.
They can slow the speed down. They can speed it up. They can slow it down. They can control the speed. They can change the voice selection, male or female. Now, remember I told you that this might be good for your dyslexic students. Right here in text selection, they can have color overlays. We can even change the font. We can change the text size. All of that is right here in their immersive reader. Now, remind you where we found that. Anytime you see this button with the book and the speaker. So you're going to see that throughout Nearpod, even on static slides that you create. So you can type out a slide, and then that will be there for your students. So think of your welcome slide. That will be there. That will be able to be translated for your students as well. All right. Love that. Okay. I see lots of people that have submitted here, lots of things in progress. Just like on that drag and drop, I can take this and I can share it out with with students. I have that share button there as well. I can see students in progress. This allows me as the teacher, I don't have to always be sharing this. If I was presenting this as a teacher, I would not present this screen to my students. So this would allow me to have students' names not hidden. So I could be like, and Kelly, I'm going to pick on you just because I know you won't hold it against me later. So I can have students' names unhidden and say, hey, Kelly, I need you to get started on this. I'm awaiting your drawing or something like that. And so until I see all of my students participating, because the goal here is to have 100% participation. Yes. When I go to a student's work and I share it out, if I want them to resubmit, I can allow them to resubmit. Good question. Okay, moving right along. What is Nearpod? I know I've given you a lot of information. I want to show you a quick video that's going to give it to you in give you a quick overview of what is Nearpod, and then we're going to talk about this interactive video piece. Now, anytime you input a video into Nearpod, it's going to give you two options. If I want to play the video where the teacher plays it, and maybe I bring all of my students up to the front and say, okay, we're going to watch this all together, then it'll say eyes up front for the students, or give them the option to watch the video there at their computer. So the students play it or the teacher plays it. I'm going to play this video for you.
Introducing Nearpod. With Nearpod, you can make every lesson interactive. Launch lessons your students can't wait to join with collaborative, engaging activities like virtual reality, simulations, and gamified quizzes.
Notice it stopped. This is an interactive video. Anytime you see these blue bubbles right here, we have the ability to stop the video and put in an interactive feature. So now you have a question that is posed to you right here within Nearpod. So you have Nearpod interactive multiple choice questions right here. So now on your screen, it's asking you a question. So you can answer that question and then we'll just move right along. These interactive videos, we have a full bank of interactive videos in our library with our partners. So if you teach high school, we have iCivics, we have Crash Course. We've partnered with over 65 different video creators, as well as we create our own in-house videos with Nearpod Originals. All right, let's go.
As the teacher, you'll always know where your students are with Nearpod's formative assessments, including polls, open-ended questions, drawouts, and more. Get started with what you already have. Upload any of your favorite resources, PowerPoints, Google Slides, and videos, including directly from YouTube. Then, add in media and formative assessment in a few clicks. And now you can add questions directly into videos to make them interactive. Get started even faster with our library of pre-made lessons and videos, built in partnership with some of your favorite brands. You can use them as is or customize to meet the unique needs of your students. Once you're ready to launch your lesson, choose from 3 teaching modes. In live participation mode, you control the pace and students participate on their devices, either in person or remotely with web conferencing. In student-paced mode, students move through and participate on their own, whether they're working from home or in class working in centers, stations, or groups. With front-of-class mode, you can use Nearpod without student devices and facilitate collaborative discussions. Imagine what you can do with Nearpod. Your students will love lessons that combine engaging media with collaborative ways for them to show off how much they've learned. You'll love unlocking student understanding in real time and having reports to inform the next day's instruction.
All right. So our next type of question is an open-ended question. For the sake of time, I'm just going to have you kind of think through this question about what you're most excited to learn about today. And then if you were front of class, that's something that we could just discuss as a class. So we're just going to watch the last part.
Instruction. You'll wonder how you taught without it.
All right, so that's interactive video you saw. And with interactive video, I can turn that interactive mode on or off right here with the toggle switch. If I want those interactive features off, I can just turn it off by toggling it off. All right. So just like the video said, we have the ability to teach from front of class with whole group or with small groups of students. The goal is for the teacher to lead the discussion and have formative assessments strategically placed throughout. With Nearpod, the goal is not to throw everything out that you've already done. The goal is to pull in what you've already done, been doing, and make it more engaging. So if you think about just amping up what you've done and making it more user-friendly, making that student have that more engaging experience within your lesson, and allowing 100% student participation. With that, we have 3 different modes of presenting Nearpod, and it mentioned it in the video. We have front of class, where you would have a class discussion through Nearpod. That's with those interactive videos. We have live participation, which is what we're doing right now. And then we have student paced, and we'll talk about those in a minute, but I do want to show you one option, which is a new update, and it's down here at the bottom of the screen, which is called it's going to be able to, you're going to be able to toggle. So if we get to a point in our lesson that I want to toggle from live presentation mode like we're doing right now to a student paced mode, I will be able to do that now. And that's brand new, coming out in August. So it just now launched for us as Nearpod employees, and it will be out in August. So if I want to take my lesson and break out into small groups, I'll be able to plan that into my lesson. So I'll be able to toggle back and forth between live and student paced. So that's an awesome thing with Nearpod now, and it's right down here at the bottom. So like I said, hot off the press, you are getting it just this week. You're getting fresh new information. All right, so something that I want you to see now, this is an open-ended question in Nearpod. I want you to think about what can happen to learning when every student has the opportunity to participate in every question. This is an open-ended response, so you have the opportunity to type in your responses. So with these, when you're creating questions like this, your students can respond with a typed response, but they can also record their responses. So if you teach a younger grade where typing out sentences is not necessarily something that you are assessing, but you want to make sure that they get that response to you, you can have them record their responses. If I want to, because one of the options that you have when you're creating a question is you can record your voice here as the question, record an audio question here for their students, and then they can record audio back to you. This reference media right up here, this is just a picture that you can click on, but it can be any type of reference media that the student needs in order to answer this question. So if I could even put a website, I can put a PDF document, anything I want the student to use in order to answer this question, I can do on an open-ended question. So many different options here. If you're a fine arts teacher and you want the students to maybe sing their response to you, they can do that with that record audio. This was a huge hit over the pandemic. I had band teachers, I had choir instructors using this record audio for their students to respond back to them. So the possibilities are endless on these open-ended responses here. And also you'll see right here with this immersive reader is here again. Now, something else that I want for you to do right now, you can click on this tab. This tab opens up student notes. So now you can open up notes if you would like to do so. The notes will be sent to you. You can have anything, all of these slides will be sent to you. You can take notes on them. You can also have this for any of your students. You can activate the notes and they can go to your email. You can have them saved to Google Drive or OneDrive, wherever you would like. You can also turn the notes feature off. So if you teach a grade level where the notes are not something that you want activated, you can turn that notes feature off. So that's totally up to you, but that's what that notes tab is right there. All right, moving right through. I'm just going to see if anybody took a chance. I promise not to play it. If you took a chance and recorded an audio, just so I can show you what it looks like in the responses. I very rarely have teachers that take a chance and record their audio. But thanks for trying. I'm going to record an audio just so you'll see. I'm recording this audio just as a test. I promise not to play anybody else. That will do it. Now I'm going to submit right response because I want you to see what it looks like. Okay, see right here, when somebody records an audio, I don't even know if it's me. Oh, look, somebody else did it. I don't even know which one is me and which one is somebody else. So it's anonymous. I love it. Thank you for whoever did it. I promise not to play it. But this is what it looks like when somebody records audio. And so you'll know that you can click this. You'll get reports. When you get a report, you'll be able to just click on this as you're going through your grade book. So you go through your grade book, you grade this, you just click on the play button, grade their response, and then just keep going right through as well. We'll get to reports right at the very end. Awesome. Oh, look, some more. You guys are brave souls. So proud of you. Okay, now notice it's calculating my participation. So if I was in a classroom that didn't have, I didn't have so many more slides to get through, I would wait and use my wonderful teacher wait time until we got to 100% participation. For our purposes here today, I'm not going to wait until we get to 100% participation because I'm going to trust that you are madly taking notes down and listening intently and just not answering the question, right? Okay, great. So we're going to move on here so we can get through all of the important things. Yes, your answers were great. Student participation transforms learning. And this is what we are here to talk about today. Okay, great. Moving on to the next piece, the Collaborate board. So in your classroom, you've had those students where the students in the front of the room are, Susie Sunshine, raise her hand every time, just wants to participate. And then you have those that I call fallback Fred, they don't want to answer. They just want to kind of fall in the back, and that they are super smart and they just don't want to respond to the learn. They just don't want to respond. And you will do anything to get them to respond. Here's your Collaborate board to get everybody to respond. So Collaborate board is going to ask you if you would like to approve student comments before they are posted. You know your students best. If they are going to try and show out by posting things that are inappropriate, approve those comments before they go on the board. We are adults here. I'm hoping that I don't have anybody that is going to respond here. Yes, you're right. Mr. Rogers was a Fred. I'm hoping that he's not a fallback Fred. My bad. Okay, so I'm not going to approve comments here. And so I'm going to click no. On your screen, you can type down here at the bottom, how do you currently facilitate conversations? What are some challenges that you or your students experience during classroom discussions. So just respond to this Collaborate board. You can type out your responses, but notice you have that graphics button again. If you want to put in a graphic, you can experience that. You can experiment with that by clicking on that button there, and post a picture as well to go along with your thoughts. Go ahead and play with that and post a comment to our Collaborate board. I will share with you as well. Now you'll notice as people start to share here, you can like their comment. I always tell my students that as they get posted, read a couple and then you can like two. This encourages your students to continue to read them. And then they can give likes to two. And then choose their likes, choose their likes wisely. Good. Now, something else to notice is the names are hidden. So we don't know who's posting these. So it's completely risk-free environment. We don't know who's doing it. We don't know who's liking them. So Betty Sue doesn't know if Johnny's liked her comment or vice versa. So it just takes that out. I really like using this at the beginning of the year for like a class contract. You can say, what is it that's going to make this classroom a successful classroom? What is it going to take to be successful in Miss Lambert's class? And you really get some great comments. Thanks for liking these. Shy students that don't want to speak in front of others, great. Now, some things that you can do as you start to like them, I can go up here and I can prioritize them by likes. So I can start to see like which comment has the most likes, and we can prioritize those by likes here. Now I can also prioritize them by the time that they were submitted. If you're trying to keep the names hidden, I would steer away from this, sorting them by student name, because that's basically putting them in number order. And so depending on what you're doing on your Collaborate board, that's going to put them in number order. So the students are going to know who did it. So just keep that in mind. Now, something else you can do is you can share this. So you can share it in an email. You can share it in a link if it's something that you want to post maybe to your website, if you want to print it out, if you want to capture this learning, you want to capture this Collaborate board, you can absolutely do something like that. And you can post it in your room. So capture the learning, capture the comments, and you can do that here with this Collaborate board. Excellent. Collaborate board is a great way to do that. Wonderful. Some great comments here. Breakout sessions up. Awesome. Okay, great. Love reading those. Okay, so in the interest of time, we're going to keep looking. And we're going to keep moving. There are like 5 different ways that you can do the Collaborate board. It's not just the cork board. There's like an old chalkboard. I say old chalkboard. I'm kind of dating myself, right? But there's about 5 different backgrounds that you can choose for this one as well. Okay, so we've talked about a couple of different ways to spark conversations within Nearpod. Our open-ended question, our polls, our draw-its, to give every student a voice. So I just want to know, what are some things that some activities that you would use to, to indicate activities that you use to facilitate discussion here. So you've got a couple here. Share your why. So any of these that kind of jump out at you. For matching pairs, we haven't discussed. I changed out the matching pairs for the drag and drop. So you might want to look at that drag and drop too. we're going to just kind of give you maybe 10 seconds to kind of circle what you want. And then we're going to move right on because we are going fast here. We've got a lot of things. I want to get you right into Nearpod. So forgive me if I don't give you a lot of time on this one. Awesome. I see I see a lot of circles coming up on this one. Collaborate board, yes, lots of things. Open-ended question, lots of exciting things. Okay. Okay, like I said, forgive me if I don't spend a lot of time here. Love that you're excited about that. Okay, moving on. So let's just get right into Nearpod. We are going to join in to Nearpod. We're going to log in. You should have a login to Nearpod. If you've never logged in before, I will show you how to do it. We're going to go, I'm going to jump right in here. So if you've never logged into your Nearpod, you're going to go to nearpod.com. Let me log out of that one. And it should look like this. You might have gone here to put in the code, but you're going to go to log in. It's going to ask you if you want to log in with Google, and you should be able to log in with Google and log in with just your regular Garland ISD credentials. When you log in with Google, it'll bring up your login with Google, and that should be your Garland ISD credentials here. If you have any trouble, we can get you in. And then it'll bring up a screen that looks similar to this. Now, yours will not look exactly like mine. Mine's a little bit of a hot mess right now. Please don't judge. It's been a busy summer. I'd like to think that it wasn't like that all the time, but it is. But we're going to go to this Nearpod library right here. One thing that I do want to point out to you, if you ever have any questions or need resources on this screen, right down here where it says teacher resources, this is a huge help for you. In teacher resources, they have different trainings, all kinds of stuff for you. So always look here if you're needing any help with any training. If you want to know like, hey, how do I do that? It's right down here in resources, right there on your teacher library. So let's go to Nearpod library. Okay, this is where that Nearpod library is, and it is chock full of everything that you could possibly ever want. And in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to show you how to find as much as I could possibly show you. Okay, so we have 3 different ways to find Nearpod lessons. Nearpod lessons, Nearpod videos, and activities. We're going to filter it down by state standards. So you can filter by a couple different ways, but most of our lessons are associated with the TEKS. So you can sort by Texas standard. So if you want to go to Texas, and then you can choose your subject area. So if you are elementary and you are ELA, say 4th grade, now you've got all of the 4th grade ELA lessons that are associated with Nearpod. All of them right here. If you are 3rd grade, same thing, and it's going to bring them all up. If I just want to look at those interactive videos, here's an interactive video on nouns, 3rd grade nouns video. Now, this is an interactive video. It's showing you that it has multiple choice question, one multiple choice question, one open-ended question, and then the handouts to go with it right there for you. I can teach it directly from here in live participation or student paced. I can just create a student paced code right here. Or I can do, remember, front of class, where I bring my whole class up in front. So let me show you what that means. If I click live participation, it's going to give me a code very similar to what you saw on your screen before we started. So there's that code. And then I have a link that I can share. I can do it through any of these other ways and means as well. Okay. Now, let me click back. If I want to go and I want to teach it in student pace, I can do that same thing. Now, student pace is going to look a little bit different. Student pace is going to give me the code, but now it's going to ask me if I want to require student responses and prevent skipping. So if I want my students to, and this happens on anything, even a video, a lesson, anything. If I want them to not skip anything, they have to answer every question, then I need to turn that on. So I don't want them to skip anything. I can do that. Then I get to set the due date. So when do I want this due? I can do it now, or I can do it in up to 365 days from now. So I can do it. So if I want this due tomorrow, I just set the due date as tomorrow and click apply. And then I just send that out to my students in the same type of way. So that's how I do either live or student pace. Now I can click this button right up here where it says Nearpod. It takes me right back into my library. Now, so that's how I launch from the library. That's how I find lessons in that Nearpod library. You can search through so many different things. They will, I have a question about fine arts. The standards aren't in there, but we do have lots of lessons in fine arts. So depending on what type of fine arts you're talking about, go ahead and look through, because we have lots of different types of lessons that cover in the fine arts. So you might have to just look at specifically, yes, music. You want to look through that for sure. We do cover music. So look through there. And then if you're going to create a lesson, in the 2 minutes that we have, I'm going to show you, oh my goodness, SEL lessons, so many SEL lessons. I wish we had time. Yes, please go look at SEL lessons. There's so many. And then, okay, so to create a lesson, there's 3 different ways. You can create a lesson in Nearpod by doing this way, by creating a lesson from scratch and uploading your files. You can bring in any type of, if you have a PowerPoint, bring it on in from your lesson. And then all you have to do is add in all of these wonderful Nearpod things. A virtual field trip, throw it right there into your PowerPoint. PhET simulation, these are math labs and science labs, all of those virtual math manipulatives that you love so much, that we know that our students need because those math scores really need help this year. Elementary, middle, high school math and science labs, PhET simulations, go check those out. And then activities. Here's all of our wonderful activities with activity banks already built in. Go check them out. They are there for you. All right. I think I went through as many slides as we could get through. I have loved spending time with you guys today. I hope you have a wonderful time at Elcon and all of the things that you have. There is an attendance page for you.
I got you, Jennifer. I put it in the chat. You're an awesome.
Okay. With time to spare, right? 30 seconds. Thank you guys so much. It's been a pleasure. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks for sharing, Jennifer. We appreciate you. And I know you'll be back with me after lunch, I believe.
Yes.
If you want to keep this Meet link open so you don't have to knock to come in, you can do that, because I'll keep it open for you too. Whatever works for you best.
Perfect. Perfect. Sounds good. Thank you.